Okay, so I'm with Ken Gonzalez. How you doing?
Hi, Barkley. Doing well. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I just would like to talk to you about Axelos and the world in general and ITSM and all those kind of good things. But congratulations, you're now going to be doing some work with Axelos.
Yes.
And can you tell us just what exactly that will be and what sort of things you'll be doing?
Well, so I think that there's a lot of things that still need to be worked out in terms of exactly what I'll be doing. But one thing that is for sure is outreach into the customer community and the practitioner community and into the ATOs, the exam institutes, are all going to be part of those things that I'll have a role in, especially for North America. I think historically speaking, a lot of people that have been in the Americas have, I wouldn't say been disenfranchised, but they certainly haven't felt as though any feedback they've had about how ITIL or the other parts of the best management practice portfolio should evolve. I don't think they've really had the opportunity to be able to voice their concerns, provide their feedback in a way that's actually meaningful, taken on board and listened to and brought full circle so that they can see that, yeah, there actually is somebody that's in the background that cares about what they think, cares about the quality of the products that are put into the marketplace and that are valuable to the people who actually need to get work done on a day-to-day basis. So I'm really intent on helping provide that continuity here in the Americas so that that feedback can get collected, coordinated, and brought back to the product management team so that as the frameworks grow and evolve and change over time to be more relevant to the challenges our customers face today, that we'll be able to do that and I think do a better job.
So you'll be kind of reaching out to a number of different areas of the market and
Absolutely.
Just finding out what they think and what their demand is.
Absolutely.
So very much like business relationship management.
Yeah, excellent.
And yeah, so like practicing what we preach in terms of the service management.
Well, you know, indeed that is, I think, a good point to make is that for a long time, people have offered up catchphrases about everything in the tech business. And I think getting beyond that to actually practice what you preach, you know, the often used phrase, eating your own dog food. Well, guess what? Your dog food better taste good. Or how can you expect other people to buy it? So I think that by using the same principles that we espouse as part of best practice frameworks, and not just from a best practice like the ultimate practice, but you know, like really good solid recommendations that you can take and use to create customer visible and customer relevant results. If we can't do that and use our practices, our processes, our own theory, then we have a little bit of a challenge.
Okay, so that's I mean, is that presumably you're still going to be doing other kind of consulting or
Absolutely.
delivery work as well?
Absolutely. It's an evolving conversation, so we'll see where it goes to.
It's one that they've announced, so it's kind of out there now.
Yeah.
There's no going back, I guess.
Definitely.
What do you, I mean, it's interesting the way you talked about that in terms of perspective from the Americas, and I mean, there has been a lot of talk about how much they need to listen and how much they need to take on board different countries and cultures and stuff like that. What's your perspective of, you know, what the kind of hot points are in the Americas at the moment for service management? I mean, are there things that are changed? Is it the same old stuff, or do people have a new sort of level of demand and expectation as to what ITIL and other best practice frameworks actually deliver?
There's actually a couple questions in there, so I'll start with the first one that that kind of resonated with me is I think that what's being called for now is, shall I say, an expanded view of what service management's all about. I think that there's been a question of whether ITIL is still relevant in today's operating environments. Not necessarily that some of the recommendations are bad, but it's a question of whether or not I can just use that guidance alone and get to the point where I can actually accomplish all the things I need to accomplish. And I've said many different times over the course of the years that you can't rely strictly on one best practice framework or source of guidance to get the things that you need in order to be successful, especially given the conditions we're now in, where there's, in the customers I've had the chance to talk with over the past few months, being more customer-centric, more customer-friendly, as well as being able to ensure that they're delivering value for their customer. It goes way beyond just optimizing processes or having the right technical infrastructure in place. Because if they don't deal with the fact that customers are now in an environment where they can buy products and services without the intervention of the IT organization. Some people call that shadow IT. Well, I call that customer choice. I don't think shadow IT is shadow IT. I think shadow IT is customers asserting their power by virtue of they have things they need to accomplish, they have money to be able to do it, and they're going to go and place the bet on the thing that is the most likely outcome to get what they want. Now, some would say that's fraught with risks and, things that people don't ordinarily consider. Well, part of the world that IT is moving into is making it simpler, making it easier, anticipating those risks so that when a customer actually comes and says, hey, we want to move in this direction, you're not just throwing up a roadblock, but you're there ready to provide the kind of counsel they need so that at the end of the day, they're going to come to you first as the preferred supplier. And that isn't just BRM. It's more like a fusion of business relationship management, customer centricity and service experience design, as well as the stuff that people have come to know and appreciate over time about how do we actually run good, solid supporting processes to ensure that the services actually meet the needs of our customers. We have to do all those things. And at the same time, a portion of that we may need to see get put off to another provider. Why? Somebody else might be able to provide it at a better price point or a better level of reliability than what we're able to do internally. We shouldn't be fearing that. We should actually be embracing the fact that things are changing and work with that rather than against it. Because from what I can tell, people that resist things just end up getting kind of sucked under the wave.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time for that perspective, because we've always had shadow IT, haven't we?
Yes.
But it's just got more kind of critical now, isn't it? It's that sense of choice is much wider.
It's absolutely critical. It's absolutely critical.
Do you think then, just finally, do you think that from the point of view of best practice, that we need to reflect that more dynamically? Because I mean, that's what you've just described is not really what ITIL. It is a consequence, maybe, of what ITIL is there to do, but it's not explicitly in the content. Do you think we need to bring that out more, or add some new stuff to?
I think that inevitably that there is going to be new content that's going to be authored and made part of the ITIL and the global best practice portfolio. And I think that there's also a more unifying view. So when we look at management of value, management of risk, Prince 2, ITIL, we need to stop looking at it as individual boxes of, oh, I get guidance here, I get guidance here, I get guidance here. You can get guidance from all over. Now, how you synthesize that and actually turn it into stuff that's operationally relevant and makes sense for your organization is both I guess you might say, a framework problem, like a larger conceptual view of how it all fits together, and then where you might actually go to look to resolve any discrepancies that might exist. Because we might be able to say, hey, we're getting a piece from ITIL over here, we're getting a piece from another framework over here. They're similar, but how do we choose which one's right for us? So being able to come to a realistic answer to that question is one of the key things, I think, that as the changes in the portfolio go, a bigger picture view that helps answer that question will not only be useful to customers to help be able to answer the question, but also relevant to the addition of new content that gets added to the portfolio. And finally, I don't think that there's an issue of like framework competition. You know, one of the things I had actually spoken with Rob probably a couple of years ago was we have to stop ending the framework wars. We can't go head to head about battling on this stuff. We need to get beyond that and actually start thinking about what's in our customers' best interest. And given the fact that they can get guidance from almost anywhere, including the organizations that they work within, a lot of the best thinking in service management actually came from the business back in the 70s. We need to honor and respect that heritage and learn those lessons and bring it in and apply it to the challenge of IT, not necessarily try and take IT out the other direction. So I think that by kind of turning the view around a little bit, we're better positioned to both help our IT customers as well as have service management be more broader and I guess more globally applicable to all sorts of challenges, not just IT.
Okay, interesting stuff. Let's leave it there. That's great. Thanks very much, Ken.
You're very welcome. Thank you.